Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome to the start of this mostly blind playthrough of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. A game that I have meant to play for a very long time, but because of a series of circumstances was kind of put off playing for a while. Now, some of you might be aware that I am a pretty big fan of frictional stuff. I've played everything but this, and Penumbra was one of the first LPs I did, but because when Amnesia came out in 2010, the Screamtuber thing was becoming a big thing. This game kind of became the poster child for that whole PewDiePie, Markiplier style of every time a chair moves. So that kind of put me off wanting to do an LP of it anytime around that, and then I just ended up never playing it on my own. I did do a first impressions way back when this came out, and I was excited when they first announced they were making a new game after Penumbra. They showed off a little trailer, and I was like, that looks dope. So now, with Amnesia Rebirth coming out in like 20 days, I thought it's a good time to finally go back and play this. So let's get in here. There is also Justine. I don't know if that connects to the main story of this, but, let me know, and if so, I will play that after we finish this. Probably not going to finish this before Rebirth comes out, but that's okay. I'm not in a rush.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus.
Spoilers. He forgets.
Yes. I am Daniel.
You might even say he has amnesia. I might actually have the brightness up a little bit too much because it's fairly gray. I don't know, looks fine here. So I have a few little mods here and there, a few graphical things, but I don't exactly remember what they are because I installed them like 6 months ago, so you'll just have to bear with not knowing. Alright, it is actually very bright in here. I mean, it's daylight outside. Memento has been added to the journal. Wait, so Memento is M. Follow the liquid trail and find its source. But then what's J? Okay, this is the 3 tabs. So yeah, I don't remember too much about this. It is a lot more similar in gameplay style to Penumbra than Soma. Because Soma was a lot more directed, a lot less kind of explore around, collect inventory. Is it supposed to? Can't tell if that blur is just part of what's happening right now, or if that's going to be a permanent thing. Is it image trail? Just want to make sure that it's not... Okay, that's a restart anyway. I think it is just because we just got up. Yeah. See, it looks alright now. Just want to make sure. So we do have the manual hands. Tinderbox. Yeah, okay, this is maybe a little too bright. Looking around here. So let's bump this down. Hopefully I won't then have to bump it back up. Okay, this is the liquid trail. This must be lead-based windows. I could use my tinderbox to light any candle. Oh no, I'm getting short. I'm shrinking. Okay, I'm fine. Just trying to picture how that would look, not in first person. Alright, spooky noise. Spooky door. So, I remember this room. I'm trying to remember how far I got in my first impressions. Was it a two-parter? I think I got up to the water. Like, if you played this, you obviously know the water part. And we do have a proper inventory. We have health as well as brain health. And oil for our lantern. But we don't have a lantern yet. This still might actually be too bright. Daniel's definitely having some problems, because now he's just kind of tilted to the right. Wait. Oh no, I've gotten... he is actually not supposed to be tilting to the right. Or is he? No, because E leans even further, so it's not that my lean key is stuck. Alright. He's righted himself. Boy, this is a long trail of liquid. Whatever this was leaking at, it must have had quite a volume to it. Like that, I could at least picture he kind of fell to the floor and was crawling around in fear, but not when he shrinks while still walking. I'm gonna turn down the brightness some more. I mean, it will get darker. Obviously, this area is very well lit. But I feel like it's supposed to be kind of duskier than it currently is. Okay, the paint goes that way. We don't have a lantern yet. But we do have our Riddick eyes when we go in the dark. And when we sneak, they get brighter. Is that crunching spider giving me some sanity damage? Liquid goes that way, but what's in here? Paintings. So yeah, we can't stay in the dark too long or our sanity will drain, and possibly we'll just die if it gets too low. We'll go mad. Penumbra sort of had a similar mechanic, but all it did was basically give you away if you were trying to hide from a monster and your sanity equivalent got too low. It didn't actually have a meter or anything. Traveling to Dover meant going through Canterbury. He made sure to pay a visit to avoid the sense of guilt connected with neglect of family. I'm not really sure what time period this is set in. Like, is this castle contemporary, or is it already very old by this point? Can I use the scroll wheel to pull things to me? Okay, I can. It's not in English, though, so I still can't tell what that says. Witnessing unsettling events will reduce your sanity. It can be increased by completing puzzles and making progress. Okay, this is not the water part I was talking about. Hissing cockroaches. In this part of the country, at this time of the year? Localized entirely within this room? Nope, they were just the sanity effect. Another game that I really want to do on the channel soon is Eternal Darkness, which has also been on my list forever, and also has spooky sanity effects. Okay, that's where we need to go. That's where we can't go. Now we got our lantern. Not a lot of oil for it, though. And I believe we want to use it sparingly because it also can restore sanity. When you're starting to get too spooked by the dark. Who lit that? Had to have been lit recently.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brennenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the Inner Sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
Simple enough. We gave ourselves amnesia, and now we have to make a dark descent. Some more oil. So I'm glad that the notes are narrated in this because it gives my voice a little bit of a break after all the other games where I have to read 30 notes. Looking at you, Control. So is that the "you made progress, sanity restored" sound? No, okay, that's just background music. Gotta look in every cupboard, because there might be a tinderbox. He fell to the kitchen floor. Tears were beginning to well in his eyes as he received the first kick in his stomach. Hazel remained hidden, in fear she too would be punished. As I just continue to slowly reduce the brightness. Also, turn up the sound a little bit. I turned it down because the menu music's really loud. Okay, so we can sprint now. Daniel, I'm authorizing your ability to sprint.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The Inner Sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that this is maybe 1800s, when the castle is already old, and the things beneath it older. Because Rebirth looks like it's set in like the 1920s, maybe? Like World War I era. I mean, there's a World War I tank at one point in the trailer they showed off, so that would make it seem like that's around when it's set. Plus, you arrive on a plane. But here, we just kind of started off in a castle, so... could be any period. Alright. The flesh of the castle says no, you cannot go that way. Are we just gonna constantly have this, like, cockroach sound every time we don't have max sanity? Get some backstory that Daniel had a bad experience with hissing cockroaches. Someone spilled a whole container of them all over him. It's tough and pliant. It can't be torn by hand or tools. You could probably fit through that hole, just squeeze your body through. Or that one. Some sort of organic tissues block the path to the refinery. Can it be dissolved? So I think I remember this. We have to make a acid solution, and that's like your first main objective, is just to find the components for that. Not my problem. Wondering if I'm also gonna have to break those off with a hammer. Now, the first episode of Penumbra had combat, sort of. You could bludgeon dogs with a hammer or a broom or an ice pick. But then episode 2, they cut that out, and that's kind of been their gameplay style ever since. The door slammed shut behind him, and he knew he would never again see the old tailor at Berkeley Square. Another lone soul in London. Seemed appropriate somehow. Well, this is cozy. It's got carpets at least. Rare books. Good thing they keep the rare books in the room with just a hole to the outside. That's got to be good for their condition.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later tomorrow, I shall lead the men.
Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. I can't make him read it again. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way, late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum. So I wonder if this right here is the link to Amnesia Rebirth, because that's clearly set in somewhere in Africa. So maybe it's about the tomb itself, where they found whatever likely is causing the horror here. And nothing in there. Seems like there's not really much of use in here. Oh. Okay, this one's not voiced. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg, is to recommend my services at the Russian royal court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Garrick. So that's not us. Though Frictional does love their twists, so I have to wonder if we are not in fact actually Daniel, and this was the story given to us after our memory was wiped. Bit of an oxymoron though, because that feels like a predictable twist. Study. Who keeps pressed shirts in a study? Just in case you spill ink on yourself.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
I made sure to erase my memory, but then I left all of my notes around the castle, so I could remind myself. And there was a scuffling, shuffling coming from down here. Spooky book. Is this not openable? I thought I could slide it out and then slide it open, but no amount of battering seems to do. How am I doing on oil? Ooh, badly on oil. Oh, I have to use it. Okay, then never mind. I was like, I just picked up oil, so why didn't it go up at all? But you gotta juice it up. What is this constant buzzing and humming we're hearing in the distance? Okay, the local history is locked. But who was Piano? Wait, what lever? I can't even slam this myself. We seem to be a couple floors up at least. Hello? Is somebody there? Oh, now it tells me I can add it. Parchment, don't need that. Just a box full of map scrolls. Alright, we've got our first Amnesia puzzle. Frictional do love their puzzles that can be solved by just throwing something at them. Kingdom of Prussia, Central Prussia. So is that where Brennenburg Castle is located? The knowledge within was so terrifying.
1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
So this is part 3 of the Algeria note.
For me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Did it also give me the power to see in the dark very slightly? And that's where the blue glow comes from? So I'm sure that peculiar relic has something to do with what's going on here.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
You know, he may be the guy that we're supposedly supposed to be murdering, but I do like Alexander's voice.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Better safe than sorry, Daniel. Alstadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Alstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brennenburg. The quiet, forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, as it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks dragged behind them which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Alstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day, he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Alstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The Immortal Baron. The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Allstadt, and like most of the noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle along with the great leaders of this country. We may have been working for an immortal. I don't think we can batter the door down. So I take it we're not going that way. Some sort of secret door mechanism in the local history room. We didn't get a key, though. Okay, so there was a collapse here, so we can't just go back. Must find a new way out of this area. I don't know if this game autosaves or if we have to find a save point of some variety. I think it saves when you go to a new area. You know, and the screen flashes. Well, let's see. Yeah, there's save and exit. So maybe it just saves the last checkpoint. Am I getting cold or am I getting insane? Secret mechanism, eh? Don't tell me it's just this. Oh, shit. I'm stuck. Stuck. Okay, no, it's not just lay 3 of the same book in here. Or maybe it is, because we can't take any of these books. And there is only a 3rd one here. I mean, it seemed plausible. Alright. If it's not that... We have a bunch of boxes. What can we do with those? Clearly not that, but... Something we can climb on top of? You know, on top of one of these shelves? Maybe we need these boxes. Oh, there's a door behind the shelf. A draft and a faint light are coming from behind the shelf. There must be a way in. Is it just tip the shelf over? It's not a candle switch. Alright, well, what else do we have to work with out here? Don't think it's gonna be here in floor plans. And I don't think there's a hint on the map. I think our puzzle is entirely contained within the room. I mean, I could just light everything. I doubt that would be a puzzle solution, though. There's nothing behind these shelves. I feel like I'm missing something very obvious in this room. Like a book. I wouldn't have expected it to be in the one middle. Okay, so this is the mechanism he was talking about. For some reason I was looking for a lever hidden behind one of the shelves. Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brennenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I will feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both my problems. So that probably relates to the gatherers actually just being the Baron's servants going out and collecting people for his experiments. Okay, we've already been here. So we still need to find an alternate way out. Oh, the meat man. He's leading us away. What a good fella. Alright, well, let's get back to the main hall, where I assume we need to use the wine cellar key. Oh, and he's even got an artistic touch. Okay, so yeah, we've already been here. We can just go out now. I assume we'll need to go to the wine cellar next. I think I did go that far in the first impressions. The statues were praying, gazing into the dark, domed ceiling. Oh no, the meat floor. Watch out for that. So this was originally described as having kind of a Lovecraftian thing going on, so that makes sense with all this talk of impossible geometries and strange dreams and distortions of reality. And I am actually looking forward to finally going through this game. But this leads to the wine cellar. I take it this is wine and not blood, but it also looks kind of sticky. But we'll save that journey till next time. So until then, I've been Shadefire. Thanks for joining me as we descend into this dark castle. And I hope I'll see you again next time. Take care, folks.